Good morning. One thing, Mike announced that the church is going to pay restaurant for anniversary in 2 weeks, right? But, important but, we need you to bring out special desserts, okay? Why? Because we love dessert. Right? I don't know what makes the restaurant. The women in this church make wonderful desserts. We want those. They have food, fine. Desserts we want. Right. We have skilled people that make desserts wonderful here, so please. Okay, alright, so we began chapter 14, Exodus. We didn't finish, so we'll speak again about some and then try to finish it today, okay? Okay, so remember the Lord told Moses, he says, speak to the Jewish people, and they escaped Egypt, right? The last punishment against Egypt, the country, against the king. What happened? The last punishment, what happened? No.
Oh.
Yeah, who died? Who died?
The king died.
Okay, the firstborn of every person in that country, the firstborn of all the animals died. And what do we name that day? What's the name of that day? Remember, every year Jewish people have a special week. They remember what happened way back. Passover. How do you sign? Passover? 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 Passover. Okay, I like that. Passover.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Passover, you see? No? Over. Okay. Alright. He was signing Passover, like over, Passover. Okay? So we use that. So from here, Passover. Over, Passover. What means Passover? What happened?
But this went together.
So that night, what happened? What happened that night? Passover. Remember? Right, remember? God told Moses, you tell the people, for every Jewish family have a sacrifice, right? They would kill a lamb, and then a bowl of blood. What they do? What they do?
God.
Remember the door? What they do? Right. So with the blood, they painted the door. What for? Right. So when the angel went through the country, if he saw the blood on the door, he would pass over and not touch that family, firstborn. It was protection, right? Okay? If he saw a house, no blood on the door, he went in, firstborn died. Okay? So all the Jewish families were protected Why? Because of the blood. Okay, that idea, example. Thousands of years later, what happened? Jesus came, crucified, right? His blood forgives our sin. His blood protects us. Same. Okay, lots of examples for the future in the Bible. They name them prophecies or, different examples. Okay, so Passover is a future example of God again would protect with the blood of his Son, Jesus. Okay? And a person accepts Jesus Christ, they're saved, protected. Okay? Alright. So, Passover, finished. And the king said, go! He told Moses, go! His family experienced that. All his country people angry against him. Why are you so stubborn against their God? See the bad things he's done against us? Right? The frogs, the flies, the grasshoppers, just so many things. Just bad happened against the country because the king's stubborn. Okay? Alright, so in verse 5, it says, it was told to the king of Egypt that the people, Jewish people, fled. And the heart of the Pharaoh and his servants was against those Jewish people. They said, why have we done this, that we've let them go from serving us? Okay, remember, 400 years, Jewish people, slaves, right? 400 years, slaves, right? They built the cities for that country, right? They worked in the farms and grew the food, right? So now, all Jewish people, the slaves, gone. What are they going to do now? Who's going to work? Who's going to build? Who's going to farm? Stuck, right? So I said, why'd we let them go? Who's going to serve us now? We have no one to serve us. So, in 6 it says, he, the king, made ready his chariot. Before they had horses and like a wagon. You see in the 10 Commandments movie, right? It's kind of here and the wheels, and the captain would stand here with the strings of the horses, right? And they race and race, different things, right? They use them for war also. So it says the king made his ready, took the people with him. It says in 7, he took 600 chosen chariots and all the chariots of Egypt. And the captains over every one. In verse 8 it says, and the Lord, the heart of Pharaoh.
On.
Okay, so the Lord made hard the heart of the Pharaoh. Okay, and now we're in chapter 15 or 14. But again and again and again and again, we read the same quote. And the Lord, the heart of Pharaoh. And explains also why. So God would prove to those Egyptians that He's the only Almighty God. No other God same as Him. Okay. All right, so the Jewish people, they're traveling through the wilderness, and fast they begin to complain. In verse 11, it says, and they said to Moses, because in Egypt they had no graves, you have brought us to die here in the wilderness? Why are you doing this against us? Okay, so the people were worried. Remember, we said the king, his army, they're marching, they're following, right? Okay. It says, but, oh, I forgot 9. It says, but the Egyptians after them. What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? Means they followed. They followed. Okay? But not follow. Serious. On the horses, right? Running. They were serious follow. They wanted to catch them. Not just pursue. Means serious following, right? I have skills, horse riding. Okay. So, imagine Jewish people, they're marching, they're stuck against the Red Sea, right? But they look back, smoke. Smoke? What's that? It's the army of the Egyptians with the wagons and the horses and the soldiers marching. The dirt, right? So Jewish people scared. Jewish people scared, right? Alright, 13. And Moses said to the people, fear ye not. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord, which He will show you today. Okay? So Moses tells people, calm down, calm down. Wait and watch. God, He's going to protect you today. Okay? He says, for those Egyptians you see today, you'll never see them again. Okay? Verse 14 says, the Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall. Okay? Men, heads, hard, right? Maybe trouble, maybe problems. We try to fix ourselves, right? Sometimes we need to just wait for Him to do. Okay? Okay, verse 16 says, God's telling Moses, your rod, lift it up over the sea and divide it, and the children of Israel shall go through on wet dirt, muddy ground. Yeah? Dry. It says they'll walk on dry ground through the midst of the sea. Right? Before we said if you have a small creek or a small river. I remember myself, young, my cousins, northern New York, I'd go for the summer, maybe 1-2 weeks, stay and visit, play. Same age as me. Three boys, cousins, born same year, 1958. First March, 2nd August, me, the last baby, October. I was the biggest, then whatever. So we go to the woods, and it was near a lake, right? And they had a creek. So we make some boats and play, put it in. But if we try to have some branches, okay, and we break them off, and we build the water, we try to stop it, right? They name it a dam, right? In the real world, they build big dams, if you've seen pictures, to stop the water and control. So, playing. Wood, trees, build. We couldn't stop it under. You go under, so a little bit of water. But if we wall here, dirt, wet, mud, right? God separated the sea, and they walked on dry ground. Wow. Alright. So, verse 19. God was helping the Jewish people. Okay? It says, the angel of God, before, remember through the day, it had a pillar of a cloud, right? And through the day, Jewish people would follow, right? At night, what happened at night? Pillar of fire. It was dark, right? So the fire, they could see where to go. Okay? So here it says, the angel of God, which went before the camp, went behind, okay? The cloud. Verse 20 says, and it was Jewish people, the cloud, the soldiers back here. So it separated Jewish people from the soldiers, the cloud, okay? And it was a cloud and darkness to them. The Egyptian soldiers, they couldn't see. It was dark, black, couldn't see nothing. Okay? But God led the Jewish people through the night. 21. And Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord caused the sea to go back from a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided. Okay, so here dry land they walked, right? (22) And the children of Israel went into the midst of the sea on the dry ground, and the waters were a wall to them on their right and on their left. Okay? I wish they'd make a new movie today, the Ten Commandments, because the other one, what, 1960s, around there? Okay, today, they make better movies today, right? So I just imagine how they would show it on a new movie today. It would be better. But it's interesting to watch that old movie. You see, and it's wide, right? Because there were, what they say, 1.3 million Jewish people around. So they guess maybe about 1.3 million Jewish people. So you couldn't just go no, you had to go through the sea, right? That's a lot of people. Yeah, right. So 1.3 million people walking, maybe some wagons, maybe some horses, I don't know, but not a fast trip, right? That's a lot of people. They brought things that they had with them, right? So it says, 24, and it came to pass that in the morning watch, the Lord looked to the host of the Egyptians through the pillar of fire and of the cloud, and troubled the Egyptians. Okay? So maybe Jewish people, they were walking through the night and the day and the morning. Okay? Okay? In verse 26, and the Lord said to Moses, stretch out thy hand over the sea, that the waters will come again on the Egyptians, on their chariots, and on the horsemen. 27, Moses stretched out his hand, and the sea to its strength when the morning appeared. It says, and the Egyptians tried to flee, but the Lord overthrew the Egyptians in the midst of the sea. 28 says, and the waters waters. Is that fine? Okay, and the waters returned and covered the chariots and the horsemen and all of Pharaoh that went into the sea following Jewish people. It says, there remained not one of them. Every one died. Okay? Okay. Verse 29 says, but the children of Israel walked on dry land in the midst of the sea, and the waters were as a wall on their right and on their left. Okay, so verse 30 says, thus the Lord saved Israel that day out of the hands of the Egyptians, and Israel saw the Egyptians dead on the shore. Okay, so all the soldiers died, they drowned in the water, okay? But later the bodies arrived on the shore. The Jewish people saw the bodies. Okay. 31, and Israel saw that great work which the Lord did upon the Egyptians, and the people feared the Lord and believed the Lord and his servant Moses. Okay? If I was there and saw everything that happened, I would believe him also. I would believe Moses also. Right? If we see everything that happened, just the water, and then destroy soldiers, like, wow, I would believe, right? Everyone, all the kids, teenagers, adults, grandpas and grandmas, all believe him. Yeah, so you said it's interesting to see how God bothered the Egyptians. He made trouble for the Egyptians, and their chariots, the wheels, fell off and get stuck, right? So God himself helped, right? So that's wonderful. Interesting story, right? Okay, so thank you for coming. Next week, chapter 15. Chapter 15 next week. Okay? All right, thank you.